I'm going to go over a couple of pot stocks. First up is TLRY. The company reported earnings today and got smoked. Down a whopping 20%, ended the day at 206. The day's low, $2. The day's high, $2.25. The 1-year price target is $2.58, according to analysts on TradingView. This is where we ended, at basically the middle of the trend and the baseline. To the north side from where we are takes us to a gap that starts at 224 at 2 standard deviations and resistance. That takes us to 237. Another level of resistance and potential take profit area, 250, and that gap closes out at 257. And finally, at 4 standard deviations, $2.65. To the south side, at support, 182, 168, and roughly 154. This is a VWAP right here at 208, and we are in between the lower channel and the middle of the channel there. Sometimes I like to turn it on and see where the range is within the standard deviations that I like to play. Now, the RSI is turning up. We've got plenty of room to move to the upside before we are overextended. And for me, I like to buy closer to this line, or this line. Even though we are down 20%, it's still a little high for my taste, although the RSI is turning on the 5 minutes, so that means we could be moving up on Wednesday, but there is a gap that takes us to the upside right here, and if we hit this area or this area, I will anticipate a pullback as people take their profits and they run. They will lock in and they will leave. And on the daily time frame, it's been a while since I've looked at this stock. We are right here. Your range is back to this line, 2 standard deviations and resistance. And again, that takes us to that gap fill that lines up perfectly there at 257. And at the bottom of the channel, middle of the trend and the baseline in the bigger picture, $1.82. RSI going down, so even though the 5 minute is turning up, it could go up, obviously, to go back down again. And on the weekly, we are turning down. And on the monthly, we are also turning down. So I think there's more bleeding to be had with this stock, even though, again, we're down 20%. But I have a feeling we're going to bounce just in the short term because it's cheap again. The next one I want to go over is Grow Generation. A trader named, well, I should say, at FF2020SS asked me to go over it, so I thought I will do that and take a look at the sector. All right, we are at 258, down 3%. The day's low, 254. The day's high, 274. The 52-week low, $1.77. The 52-week high, $5, although we've been higher than that, obviously. I'll show you that in just a moment. But let's take a look at the performance. For the week, we are down 8.5%. For the month, up 17%. But year to date, 4.45% to the upside. And then for the 1 year, we're down 18%. Under the technicals, we are considered a buy. And under the analyst rating, a buy. 1 year price target, $3.69, which represents a whopping 43% return from where we are. And then after that, it goes to $6. Get out of that. Now, for the range on Wednesday, ignore all of the horizontal lines. Those are my buy and sell lines. I keep it there just for myself to know where I have been and where I could be possibly headed. Now, we are right here to the north side at 2 standard deviations and resistance and a potential take profit area. Oh, wait a minute. well, that will be at roughly 267. But if we make it up that way, this will close out a gap that ends at 265. And we're in the range of -2 and 2. So I do think we could hit that very easily. Hit it and then be at resistance and then sell off, because up here is resistance. Now, to the north side of that, at 3 standard deviations and another level of resistance and potential take profit area at 275, and then above that, which I don't think will hit on Wednesday, that's 283, because we're all the way down here. That's kind of asking for a miracle. And should that miracle happen, you better sell if you are just doing quick trades. Obviously, if you're investing, it's a different strategy. Now, to the south side, back at the middle of the trend, and in this case, on our way down means this is support. On the way up, it turns into resistance. So that's 251. I sold here at one point, bought here at one point, sold here at one point, bought here at one point. All right, 235, 227, 219. I don't anticipate us to get to 219. And if we do, there will be a major buy-in. Now, this is VWAP right here at 262. We are in between the channel. This is the lower channel of VWAP. And remember, I always say, there are many levels in between -2 and 2 standard deviations. You can turn on your VWAP. You can do trend lines. You can do Bollinger Bands using this grid as levels as well. So many ways to skin a cat. All right, and looking left, I know this is hard to make out, but note the sell-off at resistance here, the buy-in at support along this line. And then up here, resistance and a sell-off. So the pattern repeats itself. And right now we are in a downward channel, and it's still pretty steep. So we have to slightly go sideways, and then from sideways, slightly going up. So that way you see that there's a reversal. Right now it's just straight down. And I anticipate when we hit this area, just like we have in the past, to crack down and then fall back down again. So that would take us up. And then if we start to fall back down, playing this range. Now, different time frames give us different buy and sell signals. So on the daily, it looks wonky because I've charted this out so many times, drawn on this. Okay, we are at 258 down here. So the upper, it's right here. That will take us to the upper band, roughly 284. And red is my upper band here, the middle of the channel, all the way down here at $1.97. See, look at this. So that's -2, -3, and -4. Not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close, but something to be aware of. Now for the RSI turning down on the daily, let's take a look at this. So note, we've cracked already. We've already hit this key area here at 70 and above. We are overextended, and anytime we're overextended, you can expect a pullback. And when you look left, that happens, getting close to this line. It happened here, and it will continue to happen. So a sell-off. So the natural cycle is to get us all the way back down to possibly here. We may not. We could reverse, but you can anticipate it and then trade that action. So we're going down on the daily. We're going down on the weekly, and we're going down on the monthly. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, but on the monthly, in the big picture, we're still at 40 and below. I know it's 30 and below is the typical oversold, but sometimes it never gets there. So in this case, and the monthly, we've never gotten there. And if we do, could be a potential scoop up area where you load the boat. But note here, look at this. You cannot expect this to stay high without pulling back, and that's what we do. I look at the monthly for long-term investing, and if we get down here, it's a better buy. Now, let me show you. Well, actually, since I'm here, okay, this looks like a hot mess, but look where we've been here. Oh, this is my first, oh, did I do grow as my first video ever for public consumption? Huh. I don't even know, but hey, my first video maybe. $38.99. What a rug pull the cannabis sector has been. I mean, it's been horrible, okay? I'm sure many people are still trapped up here trying to claw their way back. And I'm sure eventually we'll get there, but it's going to take a long time. It's a slow process. That's why it's good to set a stop loss. I'm terrible at doing that, but it's better to lose a little bit than to lose a huge chunk, especially if your account is small. All right, I'm not even going to bother to look at this because it looks like a hot mess, even though I know what it all means. Okay, on the weekly, still, oops, see that? The bottom of this, I moved too fast. Command Z to reset it. Okay, I'm not even going to look at this. This looks bad. All right, let's just go back to the daily. And how about the 15-minute? 15-minute, we're turning up. And I am upside down on some recent trades I did, but I'm not panicked, not worried. I don't care. I'm still good. I know this thing will bounce back, and I'm in the range. So I bought some here when we started to fall, bought some here. I probably got in just a little too early. So I've got to learn to have more patience because I'm thinking it's going to run without me. And look, it continues to fall. So don't fall in love with a stock. All right, I think that's it for Grow Generation. Hopefully that's enough to get you at least your targets for Wednesday and then possibly for the bigger picture. Next one I want to go through very quickly is MSOS. I'm in Sundial, High Tide, Grow, and MSOS. All right, here are your ranges for Wednesday. Again, ignore these lines. Been in and out many times here. All right, to the north side, we're at neutral here at 10.12. Resistance is 10.38, 10.68, and 10.99. I never expect price to get to this level typically, but because we're up here, the potential is greater to hit that. And if it does, you know what's going to happen. All right, back at the middle of the trend, and when we are up here and we go down, this turns into support. So that is 976, 915, 885, and 854. RSI turning up. We're getting to that threshold point where we are overextended. So looking left, we went up as high right there as 81, and then we cracked. Okay, we could go higher and then crack. So this is in line here with this. I use this as support and resistance. So we are up here. I'm going to anticipate we ride up for a quick bump up and then back down. And then this cycle happening again, obviously whipping you around. It's not going to go straight down. Oops. It'll be up and down, a jagged motion here, okay? But eventually to go down. And that's when you have to keep track of it to see if it's a better buy-in for yourself. All right, let's look at the daily and then I'll be done. The lowest I bought this at was at 622, and I don't even know, right here, 908. Oh no, I've sold out of these, but I forgot to put the green lines across. All right. On the daily, where are we? 1012. Oh, see my thingy. See, I switched time frames and I don't know where my, oh, it's right here. 1012. All right. On the daily, overextended gets us to roughly 1071, and above that 1171. Move this out of the way. If you own a home or are a landlord at Desert Creek, please dump Donna Turberg, Richard Ramsey, and Vicky Brancato. All right, to the south side, as I digress. Back to the middle of the trend, 853. Let me reset that. That's option R on a Mac. And again, I think we're going to hit this and then kind of start making our way back down again. We are in a downward channel, but it's not a super steep downward channel. I feel like we're starting to slowly go sideways, and then hopefully, fingers crossed for a reversal back even up to this level at 1094. That does it for me. That is a look at TLRY, Grow Generation, and MSOS. Have a great trading day.